Hey everybody, how the heck are you guys doing? Pretty good? Living your best life? I'm doing okay. It's Monday. I like Mondays. Wait, do I have therapy today? No. No, I stopped being so crazy, so I only have to go every other week now. So that's good. I am making a wreath. Wait, hold on, let me just let y'all finish gasping in surprise. And I'm going to prep some stuff before I actually get into making the wreath. I want to show you my color palette that I'm afraid if I move anything over this side on the camera, everything's just going to fall over. But I'm gonna. Hold on. I got these ornaments from... Oh! I got these ornaments from Goodwill, but it wasn't around, it was like after Christmas. They just had a giant tub of ornaments there. Martha Stewart, from when she was at Kmart, so that's a long time ago. But I love this green. This is the same green. You got the red, glitter red. I'm gonna use these and probably the blues, but I don't have any blue ribbon, which I think I'm fine with. Like, I don't want to get too matchy-matchy, but I want there to be a lot of ornaments. I want there to be a lot of color. And I have some ribbons that, some different greens. This one matches better, but I'm kind of not into that velvet ribbon right now. Some gift ribbon, which is the tubing, but it's on a roll for some reason. But anyway, these are my kind of colors I'm going with. There's little bitty ones in here, and then there's like a tube of other ornaments. But I'm probably just going to use them. Now that I've made the most noise I've ever made in my entire life, let's get into this gig, y'all. So this is my 12-inch ruler. I lost it for the longest. It's got so much junk on it. I don't know what's going on with that, but I lost it for the longest time. And then I found it and I was like, oh, yay. I'm just going to use this to make my 12-inch tails. Just going 1, 2, 3. Why is this so twisted? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I keep saying like how those things that measure ribbon are like unnecessary, and then I do something like this and I'm like, oh man, I wish I had something to measure this ribbon besides this giant ruler, which is not actually a giant ruler. It's one of the smallest ones I own, but yeah. So I'm just going to go through the middle and then come up through here. Those. I'm just doing this beforehand. There's really no reason. I just feel like making something because I was editing all day yesterday. The video y'all have probably seen already. It was that autumn swag I had 4 hours of video of me messing with it. And I cut it down to 56 because just watching it back, I was like, this is torturous. Like, I'm sure it would have been entertaining for some people who like those really long videos, but I was just so incredibly frustrated. So I was like, alright, this is how you make a poof. I'm not going to show you how to make 100 more. And this is how you glue in a leaf. I'm not going to show you how to glue in 100 more. Which was nice. It's definitely a lot easier than like recording a video, editing it, and then doing a voiceover, because that means I have to watch the video, like, I have to watch it when I edit it, have to watch it in length, full length, when I do the voiceover, and you know, I'm not that big of a fan of myself, all of that. Alright, this is from, oh, that one was from Craft Outlet. This one is from, what is this from? This is from, I think this is Walmart Spring Ribbon. 1, 2, I'm making sure I pull this tight because I only have enough to do 9, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the tighter you pull it, the straighter everything's going to be. And I can just wrap it because I know I only have 9 feet of this ribbon. One of them is either going to be short or... Oh! Okay. Well, there you go. Cut nice, huh? I mean, not cut. I mean, it cut nice too, but it wrapped really nice. That's my little fold-over piece that I always cut off because you can never get that little bend out. So it's Monday morning. Early too. I think it's like 7 something. Yeah, it's 7:15. So I've been up. I've gone for a little walkabout, taken the dog out, got him some food, made me some breakfast. Watched 2 episodes of Bob's Burgers, and now I'm here. Oh, and I made thumbnails. Wow, maybe that's why I'm so tired. Not that any of that is particularly strenuous, it's just I got up way too early, and I stayed up way too late. This wire is like, we don't want to be in here. Okay. So those are my tails prepped. I just want to have that done because I'm going to do the base with the ribbons at the same time. And then go back and add this. And then go and embellish. So this is my wreath form, and you're like, wait, what's going on with that? I color coded this just because I don't want to get lost. Not that I'm going to get lost, I don't know. This is a little easier for me. And the mesh I'm using is, pull these up, they're a little bit easier to work with. The mesh I'm using is a jute with metallic red, and then another one that is so pretty, it matches those ornaments almost perfectly. It's called, I think it's called Moss Apple. Like it's a moss, I'm gonna grab it, I'm looking at it right now. It's like a moss mesh with apple foil in it. So this is the red. I'm gonna try to that there. Move my drink over here. And then this is the... I need to throw this piece away, but I'm like, it's a big piece, I'm holding on to it. Just in case. This is the green. And these are cut at 38 inches. Just because I wrapped them like I did. Can you even see that with the... My camera light goes crazy when it has to focus on something shiny. But it's really pretty. Can I put these somewhere else? That's the thing I like about Deco mesh is that you can pretty much throw it anyway and it'll stick. But then also it'll stick to anything, so we got that going for us. Alright, clear myself a little over there. Clear myself a little work area. And I am just pretty much doing like jumbo poofs with these. I'm folding my edge under. See, I'm going to get to the edge right there and just leave that folded under. Wow, that's, she's hefty. She's a big girl. She has fun. The girls have fun. Okay. Now I'm pulling that extra tight because this is a jumbo poof. Not a jumbo poof, a jumbo ruffle. I guess I could do the woodland ruffle with these too, but eh. I just did that on another wreath, so I'm kind of not into it right now. And it takes longer. Not that this is any faster because you'll know how slow I am. I think I just care too much about like trying to get things perfect, so I put too much time into it and then it's like doesn't even matter if it's perfect in the end because you can't see anything. These have to go. That's fine. Okay, and see my cut sides are facing this way. And then these aren't really going to stand up against each other, but once I get the other ones in there, they're going to start standing up. These pieces are so big, but it's so nice to have like just giant ruffles. And I like it better than layering two on top of each other. This just feels a little more, I don't know. I mean, I'm still going to use the 20 inches when I want to layer them on top of each other. Like if I don't want a alternating look of the red, the green, and the red, and the green. But I just really like the way this is coming out. My mom saw the last one I did that had the woodland ruffles. She was like, "Oh my god!" She's like, "What? What's that? The pink and the rose gold and cream wreath." She's like, "Who's got a door big enough for that?" And I was like, "Somebody." I think these are so big that you might be able to get away with doing like a tie at the crossbar and then a tie in the middle and the outside and only doing 12. I think that was what you went into. if you thought that was the tea. So yes, Monday morning. It's bright and sunny out, so that pisses me off, but whatever. We had such, like, horrible rain. Was it rain or it was like thunder and rain, and I was laying in bed last night and I was like, oh my god. Like, is there like a hurricane going on that nobody told me about? Because my friends are jerks. They would definitely not tell me there was a hurricane. But if today is the 20th, like day 37? How has it been that long? It can't have been that long. It was 17, 16, 15, 15. Okay, yeah, it's been that long. Like 36, 37, somewhere in there. Day 37 of being home. Which, I mean, y'all know I struggled in the beginning. But now I'm just like... Oh my god. That is why my abdominal muscles are always like torn in half. Excuse me. And you're like, oh, is he sneezing because of that burlap? No, that's just how many times I sneeze normally. Excessively. So yeah, like, I've kind of come to accept that this is like how it is. Like, I'm gonna get up and I'm not gonna be really going anywhere unless it's my grocery day. Although last week I felt like I went somewhere every day. Which my mom is like encouraging. She's like, don't just come to Walmart. And I'm like, Walmart's like I know she's at Walmart, but like Walmart is not the place that I want to be because it's the busiest place that I could go to, and it's also got the stupidest people. But she's like encouraging me to, you know, get out and, you know, go get lunch from here and stop here, and which I think is good, but at the same time I don't like leaving more than I have to. And it's not like she's telling me, oh, go out and go do all of this. It's just like, hey, why don't you, instead of eating something at home, go to the little deli and pick something up, and it'll at least get you out of the house and for a little bit. I wish I was one of those people that like driving because I just like go for a drive. Like around here, not like, you know, Mississippi or something. Even with the car that works, I'm still not a big fan of driving. I just want to go I want to go get my sister and just be like, hey, let's just hang out, let's clean up, let's watch a movie, let's do whatever. And I think that if she's not sick already, like, she's not going to get sick, so I don't think it's something I have to worry about, but I don't know. And Craft Outlet, I don't know what's going on with Craft Outlet now, but as of today, they closed down like Tuesday of last week, and it just said that ordering disabled, and it says, you know, read our COVID-19 statement, and I didn't read it because it was just like, oh, well, they're closing every weekend, they just must have closed early this week. But apparently someone was sick. They didn't say that he like tested positive or anything, just that someone was sick. They didn't even say that it was, you know, they weren't like, oh, well, he had these symptoms, and just to be sure, or Shisha had these symptoms, but shut down everything to figure out what was going on with the person who was sick, and also to start, you know, like a disinfecting process. And I was like, these people, like, yes, I wish they were open, and yes, I wish they had a full staff, and yes, I wish I had a lot more money to buy things, but, like, it's just, like, the way they're handling things, it's just, it makes me, I'm like that with, like, if I find a company or a website or something that I feel like they're doing the right thing, like, I'm loyal for life. And in the same way, if I feel like a company is not doing the right thing, Hobby Lobby, I tend to not stay such a fan. And I've never been a fan of Hobby Lobby. Their business, I mean, the store I love. The business, no, not so much. But yeah, I was just like, oh, okay, they shut down. They're taking responsibility. They're doing the right thing. And it's just refreshing to see, like, hey, we're going to lose business for a little while, but we actually care about our employees, and we care about our customers. So hopefully they open soon. I can get some, I don't know why, I ordered so much Christmas stuff, then I was like, alright, what do I do when I use up all the Christmas stuff? And I am not close to using up the Christmas stuff. It's just like, okay, well, those rolls of mesh, there used to be like 12 of them, and now there's only 6. I just like Christmas. Y'all know I love Christmas. And I'm trying to build up some stock, because I keep saying every day, like, I'm going to work on my Etsy store today, but I never do. Just because the last time I was selling on Etsy, it was such a chore. But I also haven't sold on Etsy in years, so maybe it's easier to use now. I don't know. Okay, this is where things are going to start getting tight. These are pretty. I was like kind of worried about the metallic of the green with the like jute, but jute's a neutral for me, and I mean it's a neutral for everybody, but I like to see it with, you know, it goes fine. It goes great with everything. So I need something to drink because my throat is like a desert. Wow, that was a huge sip. It also seemed very loud. So what else is going on in the world today? I saw that they opened up the beaches in Florida, which... I don't know. I think if we had more intelligent leadership, or at least more, I'm trying to be diplomatic here, leadership that was more open to listening to other people and maybe seeing what happens with other countries, like, I would feel better about everything. But as it is, like, whenever they're like, okay, the country's completely reopened, I'm keeping that mask on for at least another 2 weeks after that. I know that's exactly what happened in China. They said, okay, everything's back to normal, you know, we're got this under control, and then things opened back up, and then the cases went back up, so... Business! Can't you see Daddy's working? if you want fancy $16 shampoo, which I was kind of hoping you'd be allergic to so I wouldn't have to buy it again, you need to let Daddy work and not make all that noise. He's like, shut up. He was so annoying last night. Y'all have those times where you're like, your animals are just like so annoying and you're like, oh my god. He kept getting out of bed and like walking around, and then he can jump in the bed like, wait, this needs to be a lot tight. Oh wow, that's not tight at all. He can jump in and out of the bed fine. I mean, his legs are like almost 4.5 feet long, so he can jump like in and out of the bed fine. But once he gets out at night, for whatever reason, if he's like, I need some water, I want to go eat something, I thought I heard a cricket fart, he comes back into the bedroom and then he just like stands next to the bed waiting for me to pick him up and put him back in the bed, but he's never actually close enough for me to just like reach down and grab him. It's always like, gotta kind of half get up and then reach all the way over and grab him. And last night I was getting ready to go to sleep. Like, I had been in bed for a while just watching, what was I watching last night? I was watching like some random season of Drag Race. I was like, alright, I'm gonna get to bed. And I don't like, he needs to be, for me to sleep, he needs to be underneath the covers next to me. Like, I can't have him just like willy-nilly laying somewhere else in the bed. So I was like, alright, business, come on underneath here. And I like felt around with my foot and I couldn't feel him. And I was like, where is he? And like I looked out the side of the bed and I didn't see him. And then like I yelled. And he finally came from like inside the closet, and I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, I was just sleeping inside the closet. And he used to never wake up in the middle of the night. Like, I get up to pee a lot because I never stop drinking. And every time I got up last night, well, it's been pretty regular. He's like, I gotta get up too and like go look at stuff, and I'm like, ugh. That's fine, do what you want to do, but you gotta get back in bed after. Oh man, I was supposed to be putting my ribbons in while I was doing this. Oh well. See, like, beaches are opening back up, or already open, which I don't know if that's a good idea, because for something like that to work, you have to, like, have a lot of faith in people. Like, I'm friends with a guy who lives in Australia on Instagram. If he ain't at the beach every day, like, which I guess that's what you do in Australia, but, like, the social distancing still has to, you know, you just can't, just because you're outside, it doesn't mean you can get all close to people. And I think in some countries, like, people would definitely understand that and be like, okay, well, yeah, you're right, but then here, the entitlement of the American person is just beyond. Like, you wanna be out, you think you know what is best, even though you don't have any, like, qualification. Well, shouldn't say that, because not having any qualifications can get you pretty far in this world. I want to actually meant in terms of YouTube, not, well, yeah, that too. But it's like, you have no qualifications, you only watch one news channel, which gives biased information on everything. Like, you're a slack-jawed yokel, but why do you think you know what's best? I was watching all these protests in Michigan, and I was like, how stupid are you people? Like, not people from Michigan in general, just these people they were showing. Like, really? They want to go back to work. I understand that. Because either they're completely unemployed, they're not getting unemployment, whatever. Like, I understand needing to go to work to feed your family. Like, I get that completely. I'm not denying that. I don't think anyone is denying that. It's just... What is that? Oh, it's all those... Okay, no, I was looking at something else. It's just like, you have to do what's best for everyone. And if we had better programs in place, I don't think so many people would be struggling with paying their bills right now. I don't know what those programs are. You know, just if there was some kind of safety net in place for times like these. Hopefully there will be. I mean, I realize that we never thought we were going to have times like these, which it's hard to prepare when it's just like, well, that's never going to happen. And then when it actually happens, we're like, well, oh crap. But like the deal with the stimulus, am I almost done with this? No, that's still 3 pieces, and that's 3 pieces. Yeah, okay, never mind. I got all excited for a second. Like the thing with the stimulus checks, I was reading, watching YouTube, because I don't understand this payment schedule. I don't really get it, because like my friend Michelle, she's a stay-at-home mom. Well, not really a stay-at-home mom, because she's never at home. She's always like, her job is taking care of the kids, because, you know, having kids today is a full-time like chauffeur job, personal chef job. You know, it's like 8 jobs in one. And her husband's income is enough for them to live off of. And she, like, I know how much, it's not, like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, this is how much he makes a year. But they make enough for him, he makes enough for them to live off, is what I'm saying. She already got her check. Like, she got her check last week. And my mom, who definitely does not make anywhere near the amount of money Michelle's husband makes, is still waiting. And I was trying to figure it out for her, because she doesn't think she did like direct deposit with her taxes, and I was like, why would you do anything besides direct deposit for anything? Like, I'm like, I don't want to deal with actual people. Like, I want to deal with an app on my phone. So I was trying to figure it out, and like I was watching this video, and they were saying like the people who need it most, which would be people who are receiving government benefits because they're like low income already, not because they're disabled, you know, whatever it is, whatever reason. I mean, it doesn't really matter, I guess, but people are going to be getting paper checks before people on Social Security. Like, and it's veterans, it's old people, it's not like just people who are on SSI. Like, people will be getting paper checks in the mail before the direct deposits go through for people on whatever kind of assistance program you're on. Which, not saying anybody deserves it most, but don't you, I mean, wouldn't it make sense that the people who are already on government assistance, probably, like low-income people who are on government assistance, because if you're on government assistance, I mean, it stands to reason that your bills haven't changed just because of, wait, is this, oh, that goes up there. Like, your bills haven't changed. And you didn't lose your job because you didn't have one, or, like, I don't know, I know what I'm talking about, I just can't say it without making me seem like, yeah. But, like, if you're on government assistance because, like, if you're on disability and you can't work, and you live on your disability, let me say that. You live on your disability, your expenses haven't changed. So the $1,200 extra is going to, I mean, I get while it's there, like, it's for you to stimulate the economy so we don't, like, completely collapse as a country, but people who are low income and, you know, earn some kind of, need some kind of a government assistance, if they're low income and they've lost their jobs, like, the approval process for getting extra help, I mean, that can't be easy for all, especially with all the people needing unemployment, supplemental income, whatever. So I don't know what the deal is, but I was just like, why is this seeming to take so long, and why does it seem so complicated? Because, like, every day you look at it, it's something else. Like, oh yeah, well, we said you didn't need to do this, but yeah, now you do need to do this. But that other thing you already did, don't worry about that. Like, we decided against that. But hopefully, if this teaches us anything, it's that we need to prepare for anything. And the thing is, like, I'm shocked by how things aren't set up right, but I've actually been through this already. Not a pandemic, obviously, but waiting for... Actually, I've been through something worse than this, if that's believable. Waiting for the government, like, the government says this, we're going to help you with this, and this is how it's going to happen, and this is, you know, we're going to do this. But it was Hurricane Katrina. I know I never really talked about it because it is one of those things that even if, you know, you're over it, even if you've replaced everything you lost, I am never going to get over the experience of that. Like, ever. Like, that is just going to be one thing that is going to wake me up in the middle of the night and just, like, make sure, like, hey, okay, there's no water, there's no, I don't hear the wind, I don't, make sure the house is properly cooled. So when that happened, I evacuated to my grandma's house because the parish that I live in is a fish, I mean, New Orleans is a fishbowl. So when it floods, it floods. But my grandma lives in Jefferson, which her house is elevated. It's not like elevated, but it's like on a kind of hill, like a man-made hill. You know, the house is built up a little bit. So me and my oldest sister left here because if there happens to be a problem, I mean, this has always been true, but I didn't realize how true it was. Like, you know, you always heard your parents talking about it. If there's a problem where New Orleans is going to flood, and if New Orleans is going to flood and they know it's coming, and, like, if it's going to flood bad, that it's going to start, you know, messing up the central business district and doing all of this, the government will blow the levee and flood my parish because my parish is less important than New Orleans, which, that's true. I mean, historically less important, economically less important, but you're still destroying people's homes. You know, you're destroying my house to save somebody else's, based on where I live. So we left here because my mom was like, listen, if they blow the levee, it's going to be, you know, all the water from everywhere is going to rush in, and you need to not be there if that happens. So we left and we went to my grandma's, and she wasn't leaving because she had cats. I wasn't leaving because I've never left for a hurricane, even when I was a kid, because we lived in a big 2-story house. It was like, even if the parish did get completely flooded, we could still just stay upstairs, you know? So we went to my grandma's house, and the power went out. the temperature rose. I'm like PTSD just like thinking about it. Temperature rose. It was... it was so hot. There's no way to describe how hot it was. It was hot, the days were so long, the nights were even longer. You couldn't sleep because it was just too hot to sleep. It was too hot, I was too anxious, I was worried about my grandma, I was worried about my sister, I was worried about my dog, I was worried about when was I going to get to my mom, how was I going to get to my mom. So we were in there for like 4 days before we realized, hey, guess what, nothing's happening. Like, they are not prepared for this in any way, for a disaster of this magnitude. So we left and drove to Florida to my mom's house, and I took the coldest shower, the coldest, longest shower, because I had not showered for like 4 days and I was drenched in sweat. I mean, we stopped somewhere. I know I mentioned this in another video. We stopped and some people let me stay at their house and I took a shower there, but I was just like, I need to just like stay in the shower forever, maybe? Like, just not come out. But yeah, the thing I was getting at is that after that happened, I left my house that morning to go to my grandma's with me, my dog, oh crap, me, my dog, my PlayStation, because I thought that was something that I was gonna get, you know, I'll just play PlayStation the entire time I'm stuck at grandma's house. And the clothes on my back, like, I might have had like an extra pair of like clothes or something, but I didn't even have shoes. I had my slippers on because I was like, we're just gonna stay in the house, it's gonna be like a slumber party. It was not like a slumber party. It was like, well, I guess it was like a slumber party in hell. But waiting for that assistance, you know, the hours I was on the phone, or Mom was on the phone, or my sister was on the phone, you know, everybody was like taking turns, because I know we couldn't do it online, because I mean, that's 2005, and like, yeah, the internet was there, it was functioning, it was nothing like it was today. Like, it wasn't, everybody didn't have the internet on their phones in their pockets, you know. It was like such a long time, and then it was going to the Red Cross, and we were at the Red Cross, I mean, it was all day one day, just all freaking day. And there were so many people, even though we were so far, we were in Tampa, and there were still so many people that had evacuated that far away. And we were there, and I think they gave us like $200. They were like, okay, well, you know, here you go. And I was like, $200? I lost everything. You know, I had nothing. But I was grateful for that $200. At least I used it to buy a mattress. But yeah, it reminds me so much of the situation. And we did eventually get money from FEMA, but it was not fast. I know it was not fast enough for most people, because nobody had anything. A lot of people didn't have any places to go. Everybody that lived here lost their job. But yeah, that's what this reminds me of, because I'm like checking my account like 17 times a day, and I'm not, like, I don't need the money, but I want the money, obviously, because it would help so much. Not with like anything related to what's going on, just, I mean, that's a lot of money for somebody who doesn't have any money. Alright, so this is the base done. It's pretty, I love this jute with the green. I wasn't sure. I think I'm gonna put all of these together, just so I know where the middle is. I think the air isn't on right now because I am hot. And I'm going to put the green in the red now. I'm not going to open those back up. I'm just going to put those in. I want them coming into out like that. But yeah, everything will work out eventually. Everything will eventually get back to, I mean, it doesn't seem, isn't it weird that it's like there are several times where I've just been like, it's never going to be okay. Mom's like, yes it is, you just have to be patient. And I'm like, oh my god, it's never going to be okay. But it will be, because while I may not have faith in the government, I do have faith in science and vaccines and all that good stuff. I don't think this has, like, I'm trying to like find the inside, like the good side of the ribbon, but I don't think it has anything defined enough to be like, okay, this is the inside, this is the outside. So I think I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of these, and then I will be back in a little bit to, I'm going to add the red ones too. I'm going to come back and then we'll work on the tubing and start adding the ornaments and make a bow. But I don't want to just keep talking for the sake of talking because, you know, you guys know what the deal is by now. So when I come back, the ribbons will be done and I'm going to have all the tubing cut. Yeah, we'll go from there. Alright, be back right now. Okay. Oh. Everything hurts. No, I'm not doing too bad. So, I went and did almost all the ribbons and almost all the tubing. But I wanted to save the last two for this. I don't know about this sign. It's been hanging up in my kitchen, I don't know, for like a year now. And it's a weird shape. Like I don't want it to get swallowed up in the wreath, but we'll see. I took that 45 feet of tubing and I cut it into 18 30-inch segments. Well, this one's not 30 inches, but I can't remember how I used to do this, but I'm gonna fold it in half. Come in a little bit, maybe that'll help, because I did this, I played with one for like 10 minutes before I was like, wait, how did I do this? Fold it in half, and then take, is that like 3 inches? A little more, a little less, doesn't matter. And then find the midpoint of this, fold this in, and kind of even everything out. Okay, so we have 2 loops here, 1 loop here, 2 tails here. So again, fold it in half, pinch it towards the end. It doesn't have to be perfect. Find the midpoint of this, bring it in. And we're going to just twist those together. You can put these directly in the ties. I don't know. I feel more secure about it doing it this way. And then cut out the extra. Which you could actually, I mean, I could cut this in half and still have enough to wrap around there because it's so thin. One more. Find the midpoint. Pinch it like 2-3 inches down. Midpoint here. Fold it in to make a U like this. Then bring that together. Got your 2 loops here. Do one here with the tails. There's a way to do this where you end up with 2 loops on each side. I couldn't. I was like, I don't have all day to try to figure out how to make a bow. I could not get it. I mean, now I've seen it done before. I was just like, wait, what? Okay, so those are done. Those are our last two to go with these ties. So let me grab the wreath. And zoom all the way back out because we need to. Alright, so each one has the red, has the green in it, and then the green has the red in it, and the pipe cleaners are still sticking out. And I think this is where I left off. Yeah, I need a red to go in here. I'm going to take my red, it's folded in half, 12 inches, just like the other one. Put this in the middle. Get it down here. I'm not opening this back up. I'm just putting it in there. Because these are full pipe cleaners, so we still have some room. And since we're not putting anything else in here, I'm just really letting you go around because I want to form a little base, which we'll see what we're doing with that in a minute. And then this one is over here. Green goes in the red. Isn't this pretty? I mean, it came out like the colors came out really nice. And I was like, but I just need to trust my gut. I mean, that's like one thing you should always do. Like, trust your gut. Save yourself the time of sitting there and being like, well, I don't know. Do it. 6, 7, 8. Alright, so like 8 times. And now I'm gonna clip that off. I should have been clipping these as I went, but I wanted to show you. I need, can we see that right there? This little piece sticking up. It's like just over 1/4 inch, maybe almost a 1/2 inch. We just want that sticking up. So I'm gonna go through, make sure I have, you're trying to form like a little post to put the ornament on. I'm going to undo this one and redo it because it feels a little slack. See, I love the way these colors are playing together. The white, the tubing looks a little out of place right now. But I think that is just because there's no ornaments in it yet. These are kind of twisted pretty good, so. So I took this in my office and I just sat down, and it's so much easier to work back there. It's comfortable. I can have the TV, well, not the TV, I can have my computer playing something. Like I used to do that when I was recording the voiceover, but the voiceovers are just so much extra work. And I don't know how, I don't know how you guys feel, but I'm not a huge fan of watching voiceover videos. Like, I want to hear somebody saying exactly what's going on. I want to see the whole process. So, I mean, sometimes they have to be done. I get that, but for me, I think I prefer doing this. The videos are longer, obviously, because I'm sitting here doing everything, but and it's a lot of repetitive stuff, but maybe it helps some people. You can always feel free to skip around or play the video at double speed. That's how I watch all my YouTube videos. Because somebody posts a video that's, they're making a wreath and it's 2 hours long. I'm like, Especially the people who do the exact same wreath in every video. It's always mesh, another mesh on top of that, too many ribbons, and then a bow that covers up everything. So it's like you take mesh, you put it on there, you cover that up with a different mesh, and then you cover that up with too many ribbons, and then you just have a giant ribbon tarantula. So like there's people that do that I watch just because I like their personalities, I like their interaction with the people who are watching. But I am so much more inclined to watch somebody if they do their base and they add their ribbons and they do all this and they do all that and then they actually finish it with embellishments or something. I like watching that because I like seeing what kind of embellishments they picked out. I like hearing what stores they went to. Like I'm watching one of the girls I'm watching now, like I'm like further back, you know, before AC Moore closed. She's like, I got these from AC Moore, and I'm like, oh man, that's cute. Why don't we have stuff like that? No, we have Michaels and Hobby Lobby where only the richest people in the world, the sultans of Dubai, can afford to shop regularly. Like, even if I had money, I would have a problem with most of Michael's prices. Hobby Lobby, not, I don't know. Hobby Lobby not as much, but like Michael's prices, like I don't get the business model of pretending like when something goes on sale that it's on sale for like a good deal because they're so marked up to begin with. Like when it's on sale, that's the price it should be. But then they mark it up, hoping, I guess, for those couple of people that I'm not going to fluff these right now because these need to come out. I'm going, because I'm going to be putting the ornaments on here, I want to be able to, why is my glue stick not melting in there? Melt better. I want to put everything on, spread everything out, and then worry about straightening all these ribbons and doing all that. Yeah, see, sometimes people do like 13-inch ribbons, and then these are 12, so imagine if this was another inch longer on both sides, or half-inch longer on both sides. And then there were like 3 or 4, not 3 or 4, it's usually like 2 or 3. What is this? What is that on the screen? Thinks that's a face? Is that a ghost? Is this a wreath haunted? Oh my god. That's the last thing I need. You put all these ribbons in here. I want to see this. I want to see the mesh. You know, if I put like this ribbon and another, like put this 2.5 inch with a 1.5 inch, and then did a 2.5 and a 1.5. It would just be so much ribbon, and I don't like that personally. I mean, you do you. Okay, so the ornaments I ended up picking, I'm going to use the blue, but I'm not sure, you guys. Like I'm kind of sure. At the same time, I'm not at all sure. I think if I put the blue in, I'm going to have to put blue in somewhere else. But look at the bottom of this ornament, how pretty it is. You can see that, kind of. I don't know. So I've got these, and these. It's 5 ornaments. I have 3 of each. I actually have 4 of this one because, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, 8. Yeah, there's 3 of each. Okay, so there's 6 ornaments. These are the ones I'm using. I have 4 of these because I only, in that whole bag of ornament, there was only 2 red glitter balls, so go figure. So I'm going to use the blue and the white to break up the double reds and double greens. And, oh. Okay, well, I thought that was going to come off a lot easier. Which it did after I did that. Okay. Did I turn the airbag on because I'm sweating again? I think it's these lights. I'm going to prop this up right here and zoom in a little bit. Just so we can see what's going on. I'm gonna move this stuff out of my way. And move my glue boy over. See, this sits in here. And then as I use the glue, the level goes down, so this will sink down too and start melting. You can't even see any of that. Okay. The glue's in here. It's filled up basically to the top, and as I use it, the glue level will go down and this will sink down. This glue stick right here. So now I already feel like I need to come out a little bit more. Alright. So I'm going to be taking these and going onto the pipe cleaner stem that we left. So just getting some glue on there. Going straight on. Now I need to figure out the order I'm going to do these in. So if I do red, blue, green, white, no, I'm still going to end up with the red next to each other, so I'll figure it out. I may not put too much thought into it. Oh, this is going to be a hassle. If I had known, I would have done that beforehand if I had known it was going to give me fits. And that's on there pretty good. Alright, I'm okay with that, the way that works. Business. Maybe I'll need to... it doesn't really matter, I mean... That's like my just inner perfectionist wanting to make sure I don't have two colors next to each other, which I guess I could do by just looking. Oh, that had a big bubble on it. Just like paying attention as I go. So we would do glitter red now. I'm trying to get some glue on the actual ornament, but mostly in the hole. I guess if I do this and I don't like the glue, I can go back and add something else. But I think the blue is going to unique. And I'm going to go to business. What are you doing? I was outside cutting this tubing because I took the dog out and I was just like, I'll just stick this on a stick out here and use it as like a spool holder. And I'm like out there cutting Christmas stuff in the middle of April, and I see like the dog like starts growling, and I'm like, stop growling at crickets that farted across the street. And then these two people like come out of nowhere, and I'm like, oh my god, what are you doing here? Who are you? And they're like walking up my driveway looking at the other side of the house where the neighbors were before they had to be dismissed. All I need to do is make sure I have two of each on the bottom, and then one of each will be on the top. Right? So I already went back to the white. So I will do... this red. Oh my god. So they come up, and I'm like... the dog like immediately freaks out because he doesn't like people. Not that he doesn't like people, like if you came into my house, like he would bark at you forever. Not that anybody ever comes into my house, but he was like barking. I was like, okay, you're protecting me, that's sweet. You're a sweet baby. But calm down. So he's like barking, and I'm like, what are these people doing there? And he's like, hey, the guy, it's a man and a woman. She's in scrubs, and I'm like, oh god, don't get any closer. Thank you for being a healthcare hero, but don't get any closer to me. She's in scrubs, and he's like in like clothes that are covered in paint. And I'm like, what are you doing? It's like 8 o'clock in the morning. What's going on? So they ask me, oh, what's going on with the house? And I was like, oh, I had to evict my neighbors because they tested me. Alright, I need to save one of the red. So I'm gonna put this on the side, this on the side. I'm trying to give you a clue into this process of what's going on. These two and one of these, right? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I guess this is, I don't think I've used any of these yet. Have I? Uh-oh. Anyway, he's like, hey, what's going on? And the dog is just, he's going like bananas. He's like, oh, I'm sorry to bother you. I know what it's like when I first get up in the morning. I'm like, dude, it's 8 o'clock. I have been up for literally 4 hours. I'm like, I got a wreath halfway done inside. I got gumbo cooking. Oh my god, I need to cook my gumbo. That's what I need to do when I'm done with this. He's like, do you know what's going on with the house? And I was like, well, he's fixing it up and he's doing an incredibly thorough job. So he took like all the cabinets out and cleaned behind them, like literally dismantled the kitchen and cleaned behind the cabinets and took the bathroom all apart. I was like, yeah, he's working on it. I said, but he said it was going to take a couple of months, but I don't think he worked on it at all last week, which, thank God, because he's so loud. He's not loud, that's just music. Which, you would think after me complaining about the neighbors last time, he would be like, maybe I shouldn't play music. But I was like, no, they're great. I said, they live nearby. I said, they're always quick about things that go wrong. If, I barely call them. But, you need to go over here. I don't know what you're doing over here, but you need to go over there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I'm still like counting, trying to figure out what's going on. And yeah, he's nice. It's a nice neighborhood. They're like, oh, there's a weird apartment complex in the middle of my neighborhood, which I don't get because I don't know. I'm just like, why is that apartment complex here? But it's not like a big apartment complex. It's just like a conglomeration of buildings, I guess. All right, I started with red, so I need to get rid of this red. Why do I keep, every time I try to pull these off? They live in these apartments down the street, and so it's not like they would be moving far. I was like, no, he's good. The house is going to be fantastic because he basically tore it down to the studs. Because that house was a mess, y'all. Ugh. Smelled so bad. I don't know how my house doesn't smell just from the way that house smelled. See, now these are too close together and I don't like that. But what are you going to do? This one and this one. But I'll put the bow there and you won't even notice. And then I'll put a bow over here, and I'll put a bow there. And everybody gets a bow. He says, yeah, I work construction, and my wife is a nurse. And she had on scrubs, and I looked at her first because I was like, oh, she's got on scrubs, don't get any close to me. But she also looked completely, 95% asleep, exhausted. I was just like, oh, man. He's like, I work in construction. My wife's a nurse, so we want to pay around $800. And I was like, ooh. I was like, maybe. I don't know what he's charging for that. I know he's charging more for that house than he does for mine because my rent got locked in 10 years ago. It ain't going nowhere. It ain't changing. But I can barely afford rent as it is. Anyway. they're interested, and I gave him Patrick's number. That's my landlord, Patrick. And no, he said, hey, what's his name? And I still had the dog outside, and I was like, oh, Mr. Business. And he's like, the landlord's name is Mr. Business? And I was like, oh no, the dog's name is Mr. Business. Because they both kind of looked at me like, what the hell? And I was like, oh no, it's the dog. The dog's name is Mr. Business. Still trying to get these off with my hands. So while I was looking at the number, I was like, I said, where are you nurse at? And she said Oshner. And Oshner is, I think, Oshner's like everywhere, right? Like they own everything. But we had a parish, it was called like St. Bernard Parish Hospital, and somehow it was losing money, so Oshner took it over to like manage it, not really to take it over. Like manage it, take it over. And, oh crap. I was like, oh, you work at Oshner here? And she said, no, Oshner Baptist. And I was like, oh my God, because that's a big hospital in the city. And I was like, ooh. I said, how is it? And she said, it's bad. And I was like, okay. I'm not going to ask anymore because she probably, she probably just got off of work at 7 after working the night shift. And I was just like, okay. I told her thank you for everything and to stay safe. And I said, my name's Adam. If you call Patrick. Oh crap, I'm gonna end up with. Wait, I need to assess this for a moment. I need to put red. Oh crap. There's a green right here. There's a red right here. And there is a... These are the... Oh man, why wasn't I paying attention? Does it matter? Oh, I love that blue in there. I'm looking in the monitor for the first time. I'm just gonna put them in there. I don't... I guess I could grab another ornament and just make like a switch out, like another. Yeah, it's fine. These are things you're not supposed to stress about. I just don't want the reds next to each other, so. This red. See, this is why I need a bigger glue pot because it's hard to get the big stuff in here. Because she said, yeah, it's pretty bad. And I was like, oh man, I'm sorry, but thank you. And, be safe, whatever. And I said, my name's Adam. If you call Patrick later on. I said, he's here all the time working on the house, so he might, if you want to stop by and just talk to him. I said, I know it's not ready yet, but he has done, like, way beyond what needed to be done. I said, so that house is basically brand new. Which when I moved into this house, it was brand new, but that's because he had gutted it after Katrina. And when I moved in 2009, it had taken him that long to get to his rental properties after he had finished his own house. Don't get it there. But he does everything himself. It's like, and now that he's retired, he can do even more. He's got more time on his hands because he's not working at his old job. Okay. That was a journey. Anybody know what I could do with these? Nope. Oh, I hate throwing away shit like that. Stuff like that. I hate throwing away stuff like that. Sorry, guys. You don't know how hard it is for me not to just filter myself as much as I do because, he's got a mouth. He's got a mouth on him, y'all. Alright. Are we loving that? Where's the other blue one? So they kind of form a triangle, so that's good. Alright, so... Oh, do I really have to make a bow? Can't I just leave it like this? Can't I just throw a gnome in it and leave it like this? Okay, so say I do put a bow. You know what, if I did put a... I could put a bow here and then disguise that ornament there. Or do it like this and disguise both of these ornaments. You can't tell, but... I mean... It looks really diminutive. And I don't have any other signs. Except for one that's for another wreath and one that won't go with this one. So... No, baby, get down. Actually, I'm gonna take him out because he probably needs to go out. Okay, he had some suspicions that were confirmed that there was a squirrel on the fence that he needed to bark at, but that's done, so... Let's make a bow. Oh... I used to always, be like, oh my god, that person is, tying the worst bow, or they're buying a bow that's pre-made, how hard is it to make a bow? And now every time I have to make a bow, I'm like, oh god! Why me? It's pretty, I feel like the blue is misplaced because there's not enough of it, but I may have a plan for that. Go right there and don't knock too much stuff over. Alright. So, I almost ordered the Pro Bow again last night. I just need to do it. We are going to make this one a little different. Because I have kind of an idea that I want to try out. These are going to be... I definitely want to add this one because that's not in the wreath. None of these are in the wreath except for the green and this red. So let me get all these open, which is just this one. I hope these greens are going to be okay together. I think they will. Because this is more the color of the mesh and this is more the color of the ornaments. Are you okay? Give me that bone. You're bad. Okay. I'm definitely going to start off with this one because it's the widest. And we'll work in. Is this wider than this one? Alright, I am going to build this bow a little differently. Am I zoomed all the way out? Yeah, pretty much. I'm going to start with a 24-inch piece of ribbon. This is something I was thinking about because I think the problem I have with a lot of bows is that the tails, like one comes from the front of the section and then one comes from the back. So if I put the tails in first, good side up, that's 12, they're automatically going to come down. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I start these at, how big do I want to make this bow though? Enormous? You guys, enormous? You sure? Gargantuan? Okay, well, if you insist, I'm gonna leave a little bit of a tail out. And, I mean, if we're gonna do it, let's do it. Let's go to 6.5. I don't know if I can do another 7-inch bow. No, let's go to 6. Because I feel like when the loops like get too big, we'll do. Because 6 inches is still a big, I mean, that makes a bow that's 12 inches across. I have to tell you guys how much I hate when people say across with a T. Not that I hate it, I'm just like, oh! It's like nails on a chalkboard to me. There's something else somebody said the other day, and I was like, I have never heard that word pronounced that way in my life. I don't remember what it was. But I was like, what did you say? And what were you trying to say? I think across is like a regional thing, though. Alright, do I want to do 4 or 6? I don't want to do 6. Oh, this ribbon is so nice, but like, when I was doing my big harvest swag thing, where I had to like move the ribbon around to balance out the bow because it wasn't constructed as nicely as I wanted it to be, which, my fault. Not even that it was constructed bad, it was just I needed to pull one loop that was too short, and the velvet like rubbed off. And I know this is not like extremely expensive ribbon, but bruh, it kind of looks a mess when the ribbon rubs off. When the velvet rubs off the ribbon, because underneath it's just like this, like it's shiny underneath. Alright, so up, down, middle, up, down. Middle. Alright, and the next one we're going to do is... I don't feel like this is like... I know it's the same length, it just feels so much bigger. It looks so much bigger than it feels bigger. Okay, we did the last ones at 24. Oh, son of a... Look at that. What? Why me? I'm gluing the... I mean, why... People who make ribbon should just take the... Do I have enough of this? Should just take the loss instead of putting that stupid glued section in there. Now I'm aggravated. And I don't think I'm gonna have enough of this, but stupid crap. If you didn't see that, that section was glued together. There goes my good mood business. I think it's not the end of the world. It's just frustrating because this is how much ribbon. I mean, what are we going to do with this? Can you see where it's... Yeah, see, it's glued right here. It's taped. Sorry, it's not even glued. Which I probably... Maybe I could have hid that somewhere, but... whatever. Alright, so let's do... Wait. This is... I want the red to be... No, this is the bad side. So yeah, that's right, okay. It's hard to tell with this ribbon, like, what's the good side, what's the bad side. So I'm gonna come in. I did these at 6. I'm gonna do these at... 5.5. Can I get 2 more out of this? Probably not. Maybe. You need to actually twist, buddy. I'm going to leave that there just because I think I'll feel better turning that off afterwards because it's kind of short. Alright, because these loops are shorter, it'll show the green underneath. And now I can add... I can add these and do those. That was 22, so these are going to be 20. It's like a nice mix of like the natural tones and then something a little bit more festive. I love this stencil edge ribbon. The ribbon's crappy, but like the edge, it looks cute. Like it's super thin. Each one's like an inch shorter. Each tail is an inch shorter. And because this is a different size, we can do the loops the same size. Why not just go over there? What were these, like 5.5? I don't want to overdo this, so maybe just... I'm like, I don't want to overdo this enormous bow for this enormous wreath. Maybe just 2? Either you do 2 or 6, because I did 4 before. I'll do 4 again. What the hell? This would go really good. So it's not looking even. This would go really well, but it's a mess. Whatever. I know I'm going to end up with this one, the bright green, and then the red. I should do the bright green now, and then this one, and then the red. I'll just get red on it. Okay. So, what are we at? 18 inches now? This is glued! Oh my... Expletive, 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 expletive. Offensive expletive. Derogatory expletive. Expletive. An expletive, you have to go to church after you say an expletive. Y'all don't even know. I'm livid. I'm gonna email Craft Outlet and be like, listen, this you owe me $3.50 dollars worth of ribbon for this. Which I know it's not that much. It's just a pain. No, I don't. You know, it's the money matters. It's just it's like it's a waste of my time when I have to stop what I'm doing and then throw something away. You know, stop what I'm doing to cut a fresh piece and then throw the next thing away. All right, these need to come to 5. Maybe we just do 2 of these. Can we do that? I mean, I guess it's crazy, but it just might work. It's actually not that crazy. Somebody on YouTube told me that my bows are getting like better every time, and I was like, oh my god! Because y'all know I struggle. This chair never used to be this creaky, but after months and months and almost a year, oh I guess it's not almost a year, it's pretty creaky now. Okay, this one needs to be, the last one was 18, this one needs to be 16. So you've gone from 12-inch tails all the way up to 8-inch tails now. We'll end with probably 8-inch tails again. Oh no, it flew in the glue pot. Alright, and now this needs to be like 4.5. Am I gonna have enough room for that? I feel like my bows take so long because I don't have like a proper way to adequately like adequately store my ribbon somewhere because it's just like going all over the place. Like, see, this is working good because it's right there. See, hopefully those people will be my new neighbors. And they seem nice, but the other people seem nice too. You gotta stay. We have a role to play. You just have to stay in one spot. My back is killing me. This bow has been going on for at least 45 minutes because I'm slow. I have 4 other chairs like this. I think I should switch this one out because it's annoying. Where's my phone at? But I'm missing important calls from all my friends. Alright, and then I'm just going to do 4 of these in the same length. Hang on, I just realized I should have included this, but how can I do that? I'll figure it out. See, because I don't want this sticking out. Or can I go back and just... No, I can't do that either. So nobody said we couldn't have 3 ties, 3 streamers, whatever we want to call it. Yay, it's done! Oh, the hard part at least. I might need to bust out like a heavy duty, this is ridiculous. I might need to bust out a heavy duty zip tie if I have one. Not heavy duty, just like... the red one. These are a little stronger. I don't really need them to be stronger, I need them to be longer. Okay, I'm going to pull up a little bit. Ooh. Get this under here. And then in an effort to try to... No, I'm not going to be able to do that. I think I'm going to try to... regret that, but I need to not drop the stack. We're gonna get back where they need to be. Where are my pipe cleaners? Where are my pipe cleaners at? Not tightening that up all the way yet. Until I am sure. See, when you're dealing with bows this big, it is imperative that you make sure this stays right. Oh, crap. Is that okay? Are y'all okay on this side? Wow, I did not think I was going to be able to do that. So yeah, check both sides of the wreath. I mean, check both sides of the bow. Okay. That is as tight as my muscles can get it. This is one that needs to be cut. It's like, why is that one not dovetailed? But that's the one that needs to be cut. This is the one that needs to come down. This one is already down. Now what's after that? The glittery one? No. Is that? No, it's this one. This is the one we left attached, so I'm going to try to... Yeah, that looks fine, I think. Holy crap. I'm going to clear the decks here because I want to cut off this cable tie and finish fluffing this on the wreath. Alright, so this is enormous. the bow. Well, the wreath too, but the wreaths are always enormous. I want to cover up... Where are those mistakes that were made? They're over here, right? So let's... Oh my god, just turn it around. It's so funny, like all the work that goes into these wreaths and they weigh like nothing. Alright, I don't like that this is there and that's next to this one, so... Giant bow to the rescue. Oh, and I'm putting it in the top left-hand corner if you were wondering. If you thought I was going to switch it up, I'm not. Maybe I should. Oh wow, did that just go in super easily? Holy crap. Business, we agreed that you could only have bones if you promised not to choke to death on them. You okay? You good? Oh my god, you're so handsome. It makes me sick looking at your handsome face. It makes me jealous because you're so pretty. Alright, that went on so easily. Oh my good golly, what's going on? Oh my good golly, why did I just say oh my good golly? I don't think I've ever said that in my life. Should I do an uncensored version of me making a wreath and tell you what I actually would have said if something went on that easy? I would have been like, oh, holy! Expletive, 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 expletive. Okay. Alright, now I'm going to flip you this way so I can... I keep hearing... do I fluff from the top or from the bottom? It's like every time I watch somebody, they're like, always fluff from the top, and then the next person's like, always fluff from the bottom. Which I feel like when I start fluffing from the bottom while I'm fluffing the top, these get squished. So maybe it is fluff from the top. I don't know, you guys, it's a crazy world. These two are not even at all. I'm not gonna worry about it. Either of these two. Those two kind of are. You know what that's from? That's from the cable tie not being perfectly centered. I can't even pull those out, so... Okay, not the end of the world. Okay, so remind me next time that top down is a lot easier because I can fluff these up without flattening the ones on top of it. quiet. I'm sorry. I'm holding my breath. Can you imagine if I held my breath while I was trying to do this? I'd be dead. Because it's like 45 minutes. You ate your bone and now you ready for lunch? Me too. I don't know what time it is. My phone's not around. Okay. That's pretty. But now I do feel like there's just random blue in here. Especially because that one's covered, this one's covered, and this one's on the side, but that's cute. How would this go? Yeah, this just looks like it's an afterthought. So I might go in and add some pics and stuff, but this is where I'm going to end the video. If I go in and add some little things, you can see it in the pictures. I hope you guys need to pull all these out too. Oh. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I did. What fun. This one's fun. She's a little whimsical. I think I am going to either add more blue or take the 3 blues out. I don't know. You'll see. It'll be a surprise for both of us because I don't know. I need to go eat something. Oh man, I forgot to put my gumbo on. I'm eating gumbo. Well, I guess I could still be eating gumbo if I put it in an Instant Pot for like 10 minutes. Alright, I'm gonna go make gumbo. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. Tell me what you think. Yeah. Business! What's wrong with you? You're crazy. Alright guys, I'll see you later. Bye.